Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video on the White Kingdom Gacha channel. Today we are doing a Black Clover JP video. So, today I will be showing you exactly my preferred and, in my opinion, most optimal way to farm Affinity for your characters. Of course, as you well know, Affinity, or you should know, Affinity is the level here you get just throughout the game as you use characters in stages, and as you level up you get character dupes which you need for limit breaking per se to UR and LR, and they also serve as sort of LR plus materials like extra dupes as you have a 5 tier higher or plus 5 after LR, which you can get, but those are not free. But you do get every character to LR for free with the 5 dupes you get up to level 10. You also get 2 of these purple stones for every character, which is great, as you do need that as well for leveling from SSR to UR. Now here, let's just quickly go over the... Here it is, right? Yeah. Let's just quickly show you what I meant here. So of course you have the 5 extra dupes you can get after LR, and these are all pay to win, or in case you draw extra dupes in the gacha. So this is a whale sort of thing, mostly. But you do need at least the second one to unlock the specific passive here, and then you get another upgrade as you level up till the last tier. So you unlock the passive here, and you upgrade the passive on 5. So like 2 extra dupes is generally the thing to aim for SSR characters, and of course you can also get like universal dupes, right? Anyway, we are talking about Affinity, not anything else. So, my preferred method of farming Affinity after having tried many ways is this. Of course, you can also get gifts in various shops to raise Affinity, but today we are talking about how to farm Affinity for the long term. So, you can get extra Affinity by farming the world stages in World 1, 2, or 3. I haven't actually touched the World 2 ones yet because I haven't needed to. But yeah, I have some notes and how I prefer to do things after checking all these different things out. So my preferred way of farming is going to be World 1, Stage 1 on Nightmare 3. The Nightmare section of the first map here is very easy. It's only level 86 characters with red and green typing. So for reference, of course, if you didn't know, each stage gives different amounts of Affinity based on the difficulty of the stage. So of course a hard 3 on this stage will be way less than hard 3 on the level 3 stage 2 map, right? For reference here, the Torment 3 here gives 430 Affinity per. The hard 3 stage for the one up here gives 340, and then the hard 3 on this first map here gives 310. So you can already see, of course, just in these 3 different examples, the Affinity levels do change fairly heavily based on what stage you are choosing to farm. On the 3-1 and 3-2, as I call them, what I mean by that is the 2 stages here on World 3. I can't farm the Torment ones or the Nightmare ones on any stage outside the first one, basically. But for the hard 3 on the first stage in World 3 gives 430, so the same as Nightmare 3 on the first stage in World 1 on hard 3. So both of these give the same, though I do believe that the Nightmare 3 on the first world is simpler and better because it gives the same amount, but it is 2 waves instead of 3 waves, and the enemies are not as strong. And the normal 3 on the 3-2, I'm going to call it, the second world here, for World 3, or second stage, gives 370 for normal stage 3. So the only two I would consider farming for Affinity would be 3-1 here, which is the... Well, let's quickly show that actually. Which is the stage with the castle here. So the only two I would really recommend farming Affinity for, as I said then, would be this stage here. 3-1 as I call it, and I would do hard 3. And then I would otherwise do World 1, Stage 1, Nightmare 3. Now, which one of these two you do will depend a bit on your team. So this has blue and green enemies, right? And they also have more enemies as there are 3 stages. And the drops don't really matter because they are largely the same between these 2 stages here. But I do prefer, for me personally, I prefer Nightmare 3 on Stage 1 here because you have one less wave and you have red and green enemies, which is good for me because I am running a 3-to-1 ratio in my farming teams. What that means is that I have one main carry that basically carries everyone else. In my case, it is the seasonal Asta who is my main carry. He isn't fully built yet, but close to fully built. And he is my main carry. What that means is that I have 3 characters, all these 3, the seasonal Yami, Mimosa, and Mars here, I am leveling Affinity for, almost done with the Yami and Mimosa. And of course they do assist, being level 80 and such. But the goal here is to farm Affinity for 3 characters at a time, which I believe to be the most efficient way of farming Affinity. If you can't farm Affinity for 3 characters at a time, then I think farming for 2 is also fine, but I would not farm Affinity just for 1 character if everyone else on the team are already leveled, because that is just really not stamina efficient. So this team, for example, like the goal there is that my Asta is strong enough to basically solo the entire wave with 3 useless characters. He's not strong enough yet, and I don't think even being fully built he will be strong enough because he is a bit too squishy, but I have built him with some sustain to make it easier to clear waves. Of course, it will depend who you have as your main carry when you're doing this, on which stage is better for you, and all that good jazz, but for me, as Asta is my main carry, and I would recommend Asta as a main carry as well, because he has multi-attack with his one ability, and he just does really good DPS, so he can get through stages fairly quickly, so farming doesn't take ages. And with this PvP set here, the lifesteal set, whatever it's called, it's not finished yet, I need one more piece, but once that is done, he also has good self-sustain with this set when it is complete. He has the first bonus up, so it does get some like lifesteal on kill, which is good, and then he will get even more benefit here with the 4th set I will get later today. So he has good self-sustain as well, so even without a healer, he shouldn't die basically ever, unless he is totally alone. Now, as I said, I'm not strong enough yet. Okay, some bug here. As I said, he's not strong enough yet to solo with like 3 level 1 characters or like 3 low level characters. But if you are leveling Affinity for a character, it is most likely, right, that you are wanting to invest in the character as well. You're not just farming it for stones. Though that might be the case down the line, but for now it's probably because you are wanting to actually use the character as well. In that case, I would just say leveling at least 2 of the ones you're farming, to maybe all 3, to level 60, isn't a big EXP investment. It's a small one, fairly small anyway, as the scaling is pretty high. Going from 80 to 100 takes a shit ton of EXP, while 1 to 60, not that much in comparison, right? So just getting all these characters to level 60 to start, or level 40 for SRs, should be good enough to basically have your main carry solo. I did try with this team, which also failed, but that's because none of these are like defenders, right? So that made the team even more squishy. But if I have like 3 level 40 SRs here, with at least 1 being a healer or a shielder or defender, I should be able to clear this with Asta without too much issue. Just this team doesn't work because I don't have any sustain outside Asta's self-sustain. But yeah, I think that is definitely the best setup for farming Affinity right now, having 1 main carry and then 3 characters you are farming Affinity with at the same time. And I would also, at least with this build I'm currently doing here with Asta, if you're doing the same build or a similar build with the main carry, then I would simply get characters to at least level 40 across the board, maybe 60. You have to see how strong you are. And I would be farming Nightmare 3 on this stage, especially with Asta because it's green and red, right? Which means with his typing, he gets even more benefit and is less likely to die. When it comes to other carries you can use, like Lotus can potentially be a carry. I mean, he does decent single target damage and debuffs a lot, and does some AoE. So he can maybe be a carry, but I'm not too sure how good he will really do. Vengeance is not a good carry. Mimosa, no, she's obviously not going to carry a stage on her own. Yami might, I mean he has really very good damage, so Yami might be another good candidate for farming a stage here. In that case, Hard 3 on the World 3-1 map might be better, because he is blue instead of red. So that we'll have to see for yourself and test if you want to. Other than that, I don't really personally have any more SRs to really use for carrying. But yeah, I would probably be sticking to either Yami, either the seasonal or normal one, or like the seasonal or the red type, or Asta as the 3 best options for farming stages right now in terms of Affinity with a 3-to-1 setup. You can of course do a 2-2 setup where 2 of your characters are already leveled and fairly maxed out and you're leveling 2 at the same time. If you're doing a 2-2 setup, then... oh my god, this bug, stop. Okay, game. With that setup, I think you can do level 1s, basically. Cause then you will have 2 main carries that are hard to kill, which should make it very much simpler. Let's see here. If you're doing a 2-2 setup, like let's say I do Asta and Lotus, right? And then I do like Noel, or Nosol I mean, and Rill. In that case, yeah, sure. Then I think I can just have this at level 1. Let's actually test that while I'm here. But yeah, so a 1-3 or 2-2, I would say is the best, depending on what you're able to do with your current team setup. I would definitely though, not do 3-1, meaning 3 characters are already leveled to 1 you are currently leveling Affinity for. That will basically be the end of this, sort of what I am doing to maximize my Affinity gain. It's all about, in my opinion, maximizing stamina productivity, right? You want to optimize how much you get out of each stamina you use in the game, even though stamina is aplenty right now and you get like a lot of these stamina boxes that give 100 each. That might slow down, and well, we don't know. But you still want to maximize all the stamina you use, nevertheless, no matter how much you get, right? You want to be efficient. And farming Affinity is like very important as well. Okay, Rill is dead. Feels bad. Also, this team right now, right, has no defenders and has no healers. This is just like 2 main carries and then 2 level 1s. Who the level 1s are shouldn't really matter, though I guess No Cell does debuff some and such, but still. So, when I did the stage earlier with Asta, it was very clear that, you know, I couldn't do 3-1 with 3 really weak characters. With 3 level 60s, I am very confident I can do Asta as the only carry, but with only 2 it's a bit rough. Another reason why this second stage here on Nightmare 3 is a bit rough, with just 1 carry alive, is that one of these fuckers does a stun, as you can see here, so he loses a turn, which is extremely bad when you have only 1 character alive. But now that I have 2, you don't get the stun, which means that, yeah, we can just clean up here. So the 2-2 carry here seems to be working totally fine. Hopefully. Yeah, we're fine, yeah. So, the 2-2 carry here works fine with the Asta and another high level secondary carry. And then just 2 level 1s. Probably if I just did Mimosa, that would also be fine here, a healer or a defender. In that case, as Lotus is just a debuffer, right? But yeah, this is the secondary setup that I would say is definitely a good way to do that. Also, of course, when you're doing like really low level characters, you're leveling up Affinity for, you also level up their levels somewhat. Of course, it's very minor. You do get very little EXP for characters per stage. But it does add up if you do like 50 runs, right? So I would also consider just not maxing out the levels for the characters while you are farming Affinity for them, as you will lose out on some EXP farming these stages. Whew, there we go though. That is my full sort of thoughts, ramblings, guides on how I am farming Affinity and how I think Affinity is most efficiently farmed currently in Black Clover Mobile. If you have any thoughts or input or anything on the video, or any better strats that you think works better for you, or any thoughts really, feel free to leave them below in the comment section. Also, if you got any value out of this video, want to see more Black Clover content, as I'm planning on making a lot moving forward, feel free to subscribe, like, hit the notification bell to be notified of all future content. I thank you very deeply for your continued support for this new Gacha channel venture. Anyhow though, hope you enjoy, and I will see you in the next Gacha video. Bye bye.